The IRS hates when I teach this. Honestly, I've never really done this. I can't think of a time. How about that? If I'm going to be honest, I can't think of a time when I actually did a show on this specific topic. There's reasons why. You'll probably see because you are intelligent and intuitive. But my name is Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. This is the foundation. And we're going to get into this. The IRS hates when I teach this. Some attorneys hate when I teach this as well. So that's the topic. You know I don't like to waste your time. So as we normally do, let's do our dance. Let's jump into this. We're going to get into the show, right? Let's do it. As always, please make sure you check out welcome to thefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list at the minimum. We appreciate it. We got some great educational offerings. If, trust is new to you, we suggest that you start out with the Foundation Trust Primer right here. You can grab that and then mosey on. You have the Foundation Trust Series Part 1. You have the Foundation Series Part 2. You have the Foundation Series Part 3. And this will get you up to date, literally, with regards to what a private trust is, a common law trust, Massachusetts trust. It's known by many things, but I would say it's not necessarily common law trust either. But we get into that. But if this is new to you, or maybe you've come across information from other, quote, gurus, I don't consider myself a guru, that maybe have, got you a little confused. And it's natural, it's normal. But this is where we suggest that you start out. There's a lot of other information available here on the foundation, such as the PDF section. You're welcome to peruse. We also have the most comprehensive trustee training administration, period, available. Learn how to administer trust, create trust, private trusts, administer trusts, defend trusts with regards to actions brought against it in the public. This includes the Internal Revenue Service. And generally, and I would say most importantly, we learn how to perpetuate multi-generational wealth. You got death tax, inheritance tax, probate tax. You have a lot of different taxes. So, it's why families start over every generation. This is something close to our hearts here at the foundation. We also have, if you're interested, you can start your business. Link in the description. If you ever wanted to start your business, didn't know how, didn't believe in yourself, this is the course for you. This is it. Learn at your own pace. There's no tests. There's no quizzes. All this stuff is really real world. When you get real world bangeries, you completed the test. Congratulations. But listen, this is legit. You're looking to start your business. We go through the dance in here. As I said, learn at your own pace. Take your time. But move. Because through movement, we advance. And through advancement, we acknowledge. And through acknowledgement, we can appreciate. Through appreciation, we can repeat it. Repeat that move. So I believe in you. Hopefully you believe in yourself. Last but not least, we have the Foundation Magazine, digital and print editions. Link in the description, as I say always. It is a luxurious magazine. We have over 12 issues now. Over a year. I don't know. What is OG in the media game? You know what I mean? What is it? Probably like 10, 20 years or something. We got a long way to go. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But please support us if you can. And I trust that you will find a luxurious experience before you. Link in the description if you would like to do your dance. We appreciate you doing your dance with us, or do your own dance, because we like to see it. I'm in a good mood. I hope you're in a good mood. I trust you're having a luxurious day. Truly and honestly, let's jump into this. Boom, boom, boom. The IRS hates me for teaching this. Look, okay. Because, I don't write scripts for this. I don't have script writers, or whether real or artificial. So every show I just go off the top of the head. I'm just talking to y'all like we're family, because we are. So one of my things is obviously business, family, and individual empowerment, financially, economically, substantively. A lot of people talk about, invest in this stock, or, you can do this in 30, look, substantively, things that last multiple generations. We're talking endowments, we're talking businesses, we're talking charities, we're talking trusts. And these things are important. On your way to do it, a lot of people have a job. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, right? And I understand that. I've had jobs. I believe a lot of people, we've all had jobs. How about that? I'm not trying to alienate any of the listeners, but you know where I'm coming from, right? And with regards to having a job, there's a lot of time that is taken in our lives. And we have families, responsibilities, we have extracurricular activities, things that, hobbies, friends, social requirements. And I think when we get into the rhythm of the job, especially at a certain age, right? And then when we get to a certain, let's say, level of expenses, we got mortgages, rent due, car payments, insurance, educational expenses, things of that nature, right? Follow me. So starting a business is difficult. It's cantankerous when you think about it, because it just seems so complicated. But listen, I just want to help and assist in removing the complication. And before I go any further, I want to say I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer, I don't give legal advice. I could be crazy. I could be absolutely crazy. I'm questioning my own sanity on the record. Because, so he said, no, we listened to it. He said that he might be crazy, and don't listen to him, to do your own research, because that's what I'm saying right now. I might be crazy, don't listen to me. Do your own research, do your dance. But understand that when I'm talking with the family, right, I'm using official sources. I'm not pulling out documents that, Dr. Private or Dr. Darkness put together. And, we're using official documents. But I don't give legal advice. I can't give legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I never will be, can't be. It's beyond my my ability and restraint. You follow? But outside of that, the difficulty in starting a business, whether it's perceived or real, whether it's economical for you to believe that, is one thing or another, right? And that's why our thing is we're looking to share as much information as possible. So with that being said, one of the, I would say, premier places that help, quote, entrepreneurs start their businesses is LegalZoom, right? Because none of these places, no one can give legal advice. And I'm not giving legal advice because I can't, because I'm not an attorney and I could be crazy. So even if I did attempt to give legal advice, you shouldn't listen to me, because I could be crazy. I might have checked out, this could be my recreational time. And I get 2 hours and I decide to take however much time within an hour or so to talk to people on the internet. You never know, is what I'm saying, right? But moving forward, no one can give legal advice unless they're attorneys. And if you've ever tried to get advice or talk to anyone outside of an attorney, in the public, go to the Secretary of State, maybe you call them up on the phone, or, talk to someone else. I don't know, right? A lot of people, especially when you go to government places, the Secretary of State, you go to the government building, the government courthouse, they're serious about that. We can't give legal advice because it's liability inherently. And that's true. But we don't comprehend that. And I'm not going to get caught up in, a digression with regards to the object of liability. But what I will say is That's this thing. I can't give legal advice. That's legal. You need to talk to an attorney. And attorneys, you'll go and call an attorney, and they're going to give you a number that's close to, if not exceeding, $1,000. And these are people who are serious. This is the game, though. This is the game, y'all. And then after you get off the phone with the attorney, you'll probably do a Google search or something, or maybe you already saw something like this, a service like this, such as LegalZoom. And I'm not going in on LegalZoom. This is for educational and informational purposes only. This is just the more popular service with regards to incorporation services, legal services, so-called legal services. It's document services and document prep services, but I'm not going to digress on that either. So they go to this place, right? And you'll go here and you'll say, oh, join millions who launch their business with LegalZoom. I'm getting to the point. This is why the Internal Revenue Service hates when I teach this, why corporate attorneys who quoted you $15,000 to start your LLC or your corporation, why they hate when I teach this. Because here's the thing. Oh, join millions who launch their business with LegalZoom. LLC plans start at $0 plus filing fees. And filing fees, let's just click on this because we're going here anyways. Filing fees, they vary from state to state. Each state is going to have a different fee schedule with regards to what they charge to file the incorporation documents or the organization documents specifically with an LLC. There's a filing fee. Some states don't charge for a renewal, which means that you file it the first year, and as long as you renew on time, whichever way you got to do it, they don't charge you another renewal fee. It's pretty much free to renew. Some states charge every year. They charge you. You got to look at your state. You got to look at your state. You have to. Last time I looked, Chicago was like $600. It was crazy. California was up there too. But then you have other states, as I said, that are like $50, $55. You have to look at your state. And then some people, well, I'm going to get a Delaware. Listen, you handle that. That's a lot. Good luck with that. Holler at me. Tell me how it went. I'm really interested because whatever. But it's your state. So they'll say plus filing fees because you got to, you're going to pay for the filing fees. But what they're giving you is articles of organization, and they're going to check the name to confirm that it's available, which I'm going to tell you honestly, you can do that for free on your own. You can do a search, articles of incorporation. Wow. Articles of organization. I'm trying to say, you know what I'm trying to say. Operating agreement template, and then type your state in there. And then look at 5 of them and you'll get the understanding of what an operating agreement is. You shouldn't pay for an operating agreement, as well as the name check service. When you file it online, no matter where you are, if the name is taken, they're not going to let you file it. Plain and simple. I mean, I'm sure they might charge you, or maybe they have a free search at the Secretary of State website. You might have to make an account, but this is serious. This is free. And I don't know how they're charging. Somehow they're going to get some charge out of this. But look, let's go into the detailed features of what they offer, right? Because I'm making a point, y'all. Let's go into the detailed features. So we got business formation basics, articles of organization, the name check, business filing service, digital welcome packet, compliance essentials. And this is what I was paying attention to. Compliance essentials, operating agreement, yep. Federal tax ID number. So you got to pay $250. That's the pro. We'll talk about that in a second. Financial account authorization letter. That's basically a banking resolution document. So, some banks require it. A lot of times if you organize the LLC, if your name is on the organizational paperwork as an organizer, you're not going to need it. If you got the EIN and your name's on the EIN paperwork as a member, you're not going to need it. 9 times out of 10, they might want it. But usually, if your name isn't on the organization document and your name isn't on the EIN when you hand it to them at the bank, yeah, they're going to want some sort of, banking authorization or a financial account authorization letter. They just trying to make it sound super special. And there's something missing in here. We'll talk about that. Small business and insurance guidance. Attorney guidance. 30-day subscription included. So just 30 days for $300. You get a 30-day subscription. I don't know what that means. It's probably an upcharge after that. You got some additional. You can send invoices, 1 year access to e-signature, so on and so forth, right? And I mean, it's a good deal. It's what they don't tell you, right? So we're gonna get into what they don't tell you. Let's do it. I don't know the time, but this is how you get an EIN, right? You go to IRS website, and then here, boom, you can get an EIN. You can get it online. So here's a button, apply for the EIN. Booty, I got shot. And it's going to say, this is U.S. government system. It's for authorized use only. Well, I'm authorized because I'm just, I'm getting an EIN. You hit begin application, right? And you blah, blah, blah. Here you go, limited liability company. Hit continue, right? And this is where I'm going to stop. Well, not here, the next one. And it gives you a brief description of what an LLC is and what certain powers and what allows. And they can have 2 members or more and so on and so forth. And tells you what it's not. It's not incorporated. And they do not file articles of incorporation because they file articles of organization. That's what LLCs file. Well, does that make sense? You hit continue and it asks for specific information, like how many members there are. We're going to put 2 here just for funsies. We'll do a state. I like, what state do I like? Tejas. We're going to do Tejas. We'll hit continue. Tell us more about your 2 members. Are the members husband and wife? No. We'll just say they're not. And it says LLC. And then look at here. Look at here. Since you are a multi-member LLC, we'll start at the beginning, right? Please confirm your selection. Due to the number of members in your LLC, you are considered a multi-member limited liability company as a type of structure applying for the EIN. Since you are, and y'all got to understand, you is plural. And they are speaking to you. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to keep going. But y'all look it up. Is you plural? Since you are a multi-member LLC, and they're talking to the LLC because it's the LLC applying, you're just applying for it on behalf of the LLC. Anyways, we must initially classify you as a partnership. If you do not wish to accept the default classification of partnership, you can file Form 8832. Form 2553. You got to understand what partnership means. Bottom line, disregarded entity. We'll get into that though. And then you can continue, and then I think it's going to ask for why are you requesting the EIN? Typically, you either started a new business, or banking purposes to open a bank account. So blah blah blah. I'm not going to get EIN. I'm just going to stop it in a second, and I'm going to move on. But here's where I'm going to stop because I'm not doing all this. They want the social security number, and I'm private. But this is how you get an EIN for an LLC. It's very simple. After this, they ask for the name of the LLC. They ask for the address of the LLC. They make it confirm, so on and so forth. You can print it off. They'll give you a PDF. You can do that. Let's go back here. Federal tax EIN number. Pro right there. You see the check mark? That means it's included in the Pro. Pro is $250 plus filing fees. I just showed you. So this company, I'm sure, and companies like this, they hate me right now, for sure. Automatically hating. I'm getting heat. I'm feeling heat. But I saved you $250 just off that. I don't, maybe you value some of these other services, but we're going to get to these compliance essentials, right? Because we're going to get into that. Boom. Publication 542, corporations. This is where we're going to go. Corporations, because, there's benefits. And, specifically, I'm looking at deductions. I'm looking at expenses. Specifically, we're talking about allowable expenses. So, I think it's on page 8. If I remember correctly, it's on page 8. It's going on blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to trust myself. Trust in yourself. Accounting. Period. Accounting methods. Let's do it. Yep, there it is. Generally permissible. Y'all need to read this. I suggest y'all read this, right? But I need to get to the gritty because I'm not trying to take your time. This is only 27 pages. If you think that's a lot, I hope we can move to correct that or, at least change that. Expenses, generally an accrual basis taxpayer, and they're talking about the company, corporation. That's the publication we're looking at. This is a publication for corporations. right? Go back to 8. I want to be clear. I could be crazy. So, hey, what do I know? What do I know? This could be my break. Generally, an accrual basis taxpayer can deduct accrued expenses in the tax year. All events that determine the liability have occurred. Okay? You see that? Expenses. Accrued. Expenses. Y'all need to look this up, but expenses. I want to point this out because corporations can deduct expenses. Right? You got related persons, you got record keeping, income and deductions. The cost of going into business can be deducted. Obviously, payments to shareholders, dividends, what else? Extraordinary dividends, below market loans, you got charitable contributions. All of these are deductions. But I'm just going to stick on expenses, right? And then we're going to let's go here. Credits. This is the IRS website. I'm going to stay on the IRS website predominant the whole time. So we have this. Credits and deductions, this is for individuals. This is what I want to point out. They hate me. This is for individuals. Claim credits. You got earned income, parent caretaker, higher education, clean vehicles and clean energy, retirement, insurance, and personal tax credits. Other personal. Paid alternative minimum tax, overpaid Social Security taxes. I hope you're not doing that. Paid taxes overseas. Tax deductions. Here's the limit of the standard deduction. That's what I'm talking about. Look at here. Individuals have limits. Single or married, filing separately, limited. This is the standard deduction. You can itemize. Most people don't. It takes more time. Remember, we have a job. We have loans we got to pay. We got a family. We have a social circle. We have all these things. We don't have time for this. That's why we called the attorney. Remember, $1,500 just to start this business. We're already thinking, double guessing, double thinking, double already. So here's the ceiling. Corporations aren't like that. That's what I'm trying to point out. Corporations, and this is significant. Absolutely significant. Instructions for Form 1120. 1120 is the corporate return. It's with the corporation files. You know what I mean? I just want to get into this so we understand. I believe this was page 13. I'm gonna trust myself again. I'm gonna believe in me. Do you believe in me? I'm gonna believe in me. 13. Where we at? We got interest. I'm looking for interest. Where we got interest? There it is, line 18, interest. You can deduct interest. Corporations conduct interest. What is it? Individuals can deduct interest from student loans. And I believe, mortgage interest. There it is, mortgage interest. Property taxes. But this is a very limited list. And that standard deduction is not very enticing. Let's go back. Interest, we got interest, right? Charitable contributions, Depletion, what's depletion? Capital expenditures, cash contributions. I just think y'all should read this. Bottom line, what are you saying? Hold on, let's go, because we even got the capital gains and losses. You got short-term and long-term. Capital gains, did you know there's capital gains laws you can do? Look, read this. I'll read it. Almost everything you own and use for personal or investment purposes is a capital asset. Did you know that? Did you know that almost everything you own and use for personal purposes is a capital asset according to the Internal Revenue Service? Did you know that almost everything you own for investment purposes is a capital asset according to the Internal Revenue Service? Did you know that? You got capital gains tax. Here we go. Capital gains rate of 0% applies if your taxable income is less than or equal to $44,000. For a single or married filing separately, so your tax is 0. It's 15% once you hit over 44,000. How are you? Most people are like, if I ask anybody, right, and like, you want to be a millionaire, and they was like, yes, because who's gonna say no? Hey, it's 15% once you get over $44,000, and you're not even close to a millionaire. 20% applies to the extent that your taxable income exceeds the threshold set for the 15% capital rate gain. So they're going to charge you this 15% once it hits here, and they're going to charge you 20% for everything after that. You got a limit on the deduction and carry. They limits. Look at these limits, these individual limits. You know what I'm talking about. You've done your taxes. You've heard all the things you can't deduct and you can't write off. Form 2553. This is the election to become a small business corporation. Then you have Form 8832. This is the election to be taxed as a corporation. This is C Corp. So 2553 is an S Corp. 8832 is the C Corp. This is an eligible entity uses Form 8832 to elect how it will be classified for federal tax purposes. You hear me? A corporation, a partnership, an entity disregarded as a separate from its owner. Here's the kicker. This is what I'm trying to get to y'all. I know I kind of spoke in a little circle, right? What's the big deal? This is 1120. Look at this. Deductions. This is all deductions. Look at all these deductions. Repair and maintenance. Can you do that? Can you deduct the money you spent to fix your car when you're going to work? A corporation can do that. Hey, salaries and wages, bad debts, rents, taxes and licenses, interest, charitable contributions, depreciation, depletion, advertising, pension, profit, employee benefit. Are you following me? Okay, let's go back. Let's go back here. Entity disregarded. Okay, so here's the thing with LegalZoom, right? Because I'm going to put it in plain English. Because LegalZoom does not have an entity classification form, they don't say anything about it because they can't give legal advice. And I can't give legal advice because I'm not an attorney. I'm strictly telling you I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not charging you for this. And I'm telling you that I might be crazy. I'm probably crazy. I'm crazy. I'm going to be honest. I'm on a break. The staff is, they're trying to get in here now to put me back in my little padded room. Just so you know. So don't believe me. Do your own research. But I'm telling you, do you see this compliance essentials? Operating agreement, federal tax ID. They charge you $250 for the tax ID. I just showed you how to do it for free. Financial account authorization letter. Ooh, do a search for that. And don't even do a search for that. Do a search for banking resolution authorization or banking authorization resolution form. Search for that. And that's for free. Saved you another $250. But I don't see anything in here about attorney guidance. Maybe the attorneys, you got to give them $300. And maybe the attorneys. Maybe, I don't know, it says assist. Additional business services. I don't see anything in here about an entity classification. Now, what does that mean? Let's go back here. Was that it? Nope. It was this one. Nope. Yeah, it was this one. Okay, so disregarded entity, right? And as I said, I can't give you advice, but I'm going to tell you. An entity disregarded as separate from its owner, which means it is not separate from its owner. So single member LLCs that do not file entity classification forms, even if it's a corporation at the state level, doesn't matter because the organization of the company is at the state level. You're dealing with two jurisdictions. There's a federal return and then there's a state return. Individuals, corporations, partnerships, all of it. Unless you're dealing with trust, private trust, there's no state returns with private trusts. But with what we're talking about here, I'm going to stay on topic. Stay on topic, so. There are rules with regards to what you're doing, especially on the federal level. So unless these structures like your LLC specifically or your corporation, because it will be treated as a partnership. You can read this and understand what I'm saying. Unless these forms are submitted, one or the two, not both, one or the two. I want to be clear. It's either or. It's S Corp or C Corp, not both. I don't know what happens if you do both of them. I don't know what happens. I can't tell you. I don't know what happens. It's one or the other, right? Unless they receive this, there's no federal form. There's no 1120. There's no corporate return. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means, know what that means? I'm going to show y'all. What is it? I'm going to do a story for you. I'm going to do this live right now. Because you got, what is it? It's 535. It's 535. Off the top of the head, it's 535. Pub 535. Let's do it. What we got here? Nope. IRS publication, business expenses, meaning, here we go. This got to be it. Nope. This is Investopedia. I'm tripping. It's because I'm live, y'all. I'm trying to show y'all the dance. Oh, here's why. That's why. Silly me. There we go. So, business expenses. I'm going to say this. Look, we'll just go right here. This is it right here. Here's the business expenses. This is publication 535. I'm showing y'all right here and then here. Publication 15B, 15B, as in boy. Here's the PDF. Y'all can tell that I be on this, right? The stuff's already clicked. You have fringe benefits excluded. I'm just going to go down here. Listen. Please listen to what I'm saying. Did I go too far? I don't think so. Here we go. Fringe benefits. This section discusses the exclusion rules that apply to the fringe benefits. These rules exclude all or part of the value of certain benefits from recipients' pay. You don't have to claim this stuff that you receive from the company on your tax returns. You ever heard of company cars? So accident and health benefits, achievement awards, adoption assistance, athletic facilities that they have to be on premise, de minimis benefits, dependent care assistance, educational assistance, employee discounts. You follow me? Employee stock options, employer provided cell phones, company phone, group life insurance, HSAs, health savings accounts, lodging on your business premises, meals, no additional cost services, transportation, company car, tuition reduction. These are all things that you can receive from the company that you administer. You follow me? Your LLC that's properly classified on the federal level that you receive from the company. The company is an expense to the company, and you don't have to claim it on your income. If you don't have to pay for all these things, you don't need to receive it as income to pay for it because you follow what I'm saying? I can't say this outright, right? Straight up outright. Can't say it outright, but you follow what I'm saying? Bottom line is, unless your state structure is elected to be taxed as a corporation on a federal level, all of it is a disregarded entity for tax purposes, and all the income and expenses have to be claimed on the 1040, the individual tax return. I think it's Schedule C. I'm pretty sure it's Schedule C. And all those limitations that apply to individuals. I lost it. All of them. Where did I go? Did I close it? I closed it. I probably closed it. The blouse. But it's cool, All the limitations that apply to the individual are going to apply to your company. I know this. I've had clients. Hey, man, I got my company with LegalZoom, and then, we filed the return, and then the return got returned from the IRS, and they said that I'm not supposed to file this. I got to put this on and that way I'm not going to be able to get these. I'm not going to be able to get these expenses, and it's my tax exposure is going to be even more than it was when I was actually working. And most people are like, why would I do this? Why would I start my own business? Well, you don't understand this. Bill Gates is quoted saying the best thing that he ever learned was how to read the tax code. I mean, I'm not quoting, something, look it up though. I'm crazy. People don't understand this, and it's prohibitively expensive to contract with these attorneys. They're talking about our whole check. Oh, a month, 2 checks. And we got car payments, we got We got to buy food. We got to pay the mortgage or the rent. You got to pay we got too much to pay. I can't give you $1,500, man, to just start a business right now. And I'm telling you, if you're anything like me, you save up money. As soon as you get to the money that you're saving up for, or the amount of money that you're saving up to, or right before it, an emergency happens. The axle breaks on your car. It breaks and then flies all from under your car and it hits the fire hydrant and breaks that, and water just starts pouring out, and just so happens the police were right there and pulls you over. I don't know about you. That'd be my luck. We got too much going on. I got to pick up the kids. Like, I can't do a. And I feel like this is on purpose to keep us where we're at. It's engineered. And this is why we do the work that we do here on the foundation, because we working against the engineering that's working against you. Working against the engineering that's working against us. Time in, time out. So unless you do the 8832 or the 2553, it doesn't matter. It's a disregarded entity. Look up disregarded entity, IRS, disregarded entity. Look it up. Understand what that means. Nope, it's not filing some tax return. All that applies to the individual. The individual has crazy limitations. It has things that the corporation cannot do. I showed you. 1120. Form 1120. Deductions, expenses. Publication 15B. Excluded benefits. Excluded. Company car, company phone, de minimis. I showed you what corporations can expense. And that I showed you the limitations with regards to the individual. And without entity classification, this is why they hate me. My name is Sot L, and I'm telling you, and without entity classification, the game doesn't change. With entity classification and proper comprehension and knowledge, the game changes tremendously. And I guarantee you, you move forward, you find some success, you're going to be looking into trust, the next thing, because you have to. You have to, because you'll realize that even though it's in the company name, that's still public. And, the assets are still at risk. Shares in a corporation or membership interest in an LLC is taxable upon death of the owner. Look it up. I'm crazy. Don't believe me. I'm crazy. Look it up. So when we're talking about multi-generational wealth, it's a whole different conversation. But when we're talking about, we just got to get it together. And I need to put myself in a different position. And the first thing I need to do is put myself in a different tax position. If that's you, I'm talking to you. And I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, because the IRS hates me for teaching this. The IRS hates people like me who spells it out, who shows you where it's at, who's crazy. Like, you're crazy. Why? I don't know. Maybe some people say I'm crazy for not charging for this. They might be right. So who knows, man? But this is what it's about. Entity classification. What corporations can expense and what they don't have to. They can expense all the way to zero. That means a corporation can make $100,000. Now, this is not tax advice, legal advice, none of that. Corporation could make $100,000 and expense $100,000 and owe zero in taxes, but still have purchased corporate assets, capital assets. Remember I told you what a capital asset was? Still have capital assets, but have no tax liability. Individuals, it goes off of how much you make, which determines your tax liability. Corporations, it's expenses and deductions. Say it with me, expenses. I'm just playing. But I'm not joking. So I hope you picked up what I'm putting down. And, if it doesn't make sense, we do consultations. You want to talk to me, it's $55 an hour for a limited time. You can book a consultation on welcometothefoundation.com, or you can email support@welcometothefoundation.com, and he will get you squared away, get you sorted. But I would suggest just listen to this a couple times. Rewind this, play it again, play it a couple times so it makes sense. It's tax position. Regardless if you're public or private, it's tax position, tax exposure. That's it. There's legal tax avoidance and there's illegal tax evasion. Look those up. Tax avoidance, tax evasion. Look them up. Start comprehending what the difference is. Reestablish your foundation of knowledge with regards to what you're looking at. This commercial realm, this public place, these states of. States of. The state of what? The state of. There's a lot of states of. Count them. But you can count more than 200 if you do it right. Easy. But it's position. When you're playing this game, the game of commerce, it's called commercial belli. Commercial belli. Look it up. Latin. Look it up. Commercial belli. When we get into etymology, a lot of things make sense. When we study history, a lot of things make sense. When we put it into action, we see how powerful it is. But commercial belli, look it up. The etymology of commerce, commercial belli, commercial warfare. It's a financial. My estate pillage your estate financially. So my estate, my family, we have more money now. And we really don't care if your family has less money or not. My family has more money. It's called a business. It sounds really, really angry and mean, right? When I say it like that, but it is. Like if my family makes a pair of shoes and your family buys the pair of shoes, if we sold it right, we have more money and your family has less money. That is commercial belly. Commercial welfare. Well, at a very simple form. When you get to the macro form, or macro level with regards to governments and war powers, armies and institutions is different. But, just for the layman, that's it. Out your hand, straight to me. That's what it's about. Position. In this game, position on the board. What's your position? It's a really important position. What's the tax position of the structure that you're administering? I trust that you learned something. If you're so inclined, link in the description, you can start your business. Now that you understand that, you saved yourself $250 if you're talking about LegalZoom, minimum. And if you're talking about contacting an attorney, you're saving even more. So technically, you're saving $150. If you were thinking about LegalZoom and if you're thinking about dealing with an attorney, you're saving at least $1,000, I would say. Straight up. And some attorneys, maybe will do your organization for $500. Some of them might be familiar with LegalZoom and not want to lose a sale and be like, well, we'll do it for $250 or $275, but you got to do the filing fees. Depends on how they offer it. But either way, this is a steal of a deal. And this right here is why the IRS hates me. It's why the IRS hates when I teach this. Hey, y'all, hope y'all learned something. Y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all next time on The Foundation. Peace, y'all.